Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Lauren and I will be walking you through a Vinyasa yoga sequence based on lateral bends of the spine. So anytime we lengthen through the side of the torso, the side of the spine, that is a lateral bend. So that's what we'll be moving through today. And it is a Vinyasa yoga sequence, which means we're going to be moving a little bit faster, moving through some more poses that are just innately more challenging. But if you're looking for something along the lines of a slow flow, a little bit slower, a little bit more accessible, know that at any point that I'm cueing a vinyasa or a sun salutation or anything like that, you can always skip it, you can always rest. And so know that just because I've created this sequence to be challenging, you always have the freedom to swap something out, skip a pose, skip a flow. Know that you very much have that option for you. Okay, so we're gonna start on our backs. Like always, I've always got 2 blocks and a towel or a blanket nearby. But just for right now, we're just gonna start on our backs. I'm going to support my head. Okay, so coming down onto your back, maybe your legs are extended or maybe your knees are bent. But coming down onto your back in a really comfortable position. And then allowing yourself to rest, to soften a little. So again, this practice will be a Vinyasa yoga practice, meaning again, we'll be moving a little bit faster, doing some poses that take quite a bit of work. And we're gonna get there, but we're not there yet. So now we want to soften, relax, and release. Let your body really settle into this space on your mat. And as you let your body relax, turn your attention to your breath. For a few moments, notice your breath. Feeling and experiencing each and every breath. Now you can stay right here, observing your breath, feeling, noticing, really being with your breath, your prana. Or I'll walk you through another pranayama, another breathing technique, and you're welcome to join me or skip it. I'll walk you through Viloma 1. Viloma means against the grain or against the natural order. And in Viloma 1, we focus on the inhalation. So instead of a smooth, seamless breath, on the inhalation, we'll divide the inhalation into 3 equal parts, pausing after each part, holding the breath for a moment or 2. Holding your breath is a perfectly safe practice unless you are pregnant or trying to get pregnant. So if you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant, skip this practice. Otherwise, it's perfectly safe. We'll alternate between a round of Viloma 1 and a round of a natural breath. I will walk you through it. Okay, so to begin, exhale completely. Push all of the breath out of your lungs. And then inhale only to 1/3 of your capacity. Hold it here, pausing, holding the breath. Now inhale to 2/3 of your capacity. Holding the breath, pausing, holding it here. Now inhale 3/3 of your capacity. Inhale all of the way, fill your lungs, and then hold it, Pause, hold the breath at the top here. And then exhale completely, a long, smooth, fluid breath out. Inhale naturally. Exhale naturally. Back to Viloma 1. Inhale 1/3 of the way, pause, hold your breath. Now inhale 2/3 of the way, pause, hold your breath. Inhale 3/3 of the way, fill your lungs to their capacity, 100%, hold your breath at the top, and exhale completely. Inhale naturally, exhale naturally, back to Viloma. Inhale 1/3 of the way, pause, hold the breath, but soften the chest and shoulders. Inhale 2/3 of the way, pause, hold the breath, soften the throat, neck, and jaw. Now inhale 3/3 of the way, 100%, fill your lungs, hold the breath, but soften the muscles of your face. And exhale completely. Inhale naturally. Exhale naturally. We'll do 2 more rounds. Inhale 1/3 of the way, pause, hold the breath, soften shoulders, chest, and arms. Inhale 2/3 of the way, pause, hold the breath, soften throat, neck, and jaw. Inhale 3/3 of the way, fill your lungs all the way, soften the muscles of the face as you hold your breath at the top. And then exhale completely. Inhale naturally. Exhale naturally. 1 final round, Viloma 1. Inhale 1/3 of the way, pause, but soften. Inhale 2/3 of the way, pause, hold the breath, but soften. Inhale 3/3, fill the lungs, hold the breath, soften. Exhale completely. Now return back to your natural breath, breathing in, breathing out, very effortless, very relaxed. Notice how you feel. Now keeping your focus inward if it feels right for you. You might set an intention for yourself, thinking about a positive word or phrase, silently and slowly repeating it a few times to allow it to settle in your heart. Okay, now slowly deepen your breath. Maybe coming into some belly breath, sending your breath all the way down to your low belly. And then bring some soft movements through your body. Maybe rock the head side to side. Wiggle fingers and toes, move arms and legs. Give yourself a breath or two. Starting to move again. Okay. All right, we're going to stay on our back just for another moment or two. We're going to start with our arms and legs extended like you just woke up from a long nap. So fingertips and toes in opposite directions, really lengthen. So I mentioned that we are going to be moving through lateral bends. We need to really lengthen the spine before we come into a lateral bend. So think about not just reaching the fingers and toes in opposite directions, but the base of the spine and the top of the spine. The tailbone and the crown of the head, reaches them in opposite directions. Really lengthen. One more breath.
Okay, now maintain the length, but walk both of your feet over to the top right corner of your mat, like your legs are making a long diagonal line across your mat. Use your right hand to grab onto your left wrist or forearm and reach your left fingertips up and over. So now from up overhead, you look like the letter C. This is called Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So from up overhead, you look like a crescent moon. You might even cross your left ankle over your right, but lengthen the left side of the body, or first lateral bend. One more deep breath. And then inhale, return to the center, everything back to neutral, a straight line. Take a moment here. And then walk both feet over to the top left corner of your mat. Use your left hand, grab your right wrist, gently pull right fingertips over. You might cross right ankle over left, but again, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. You look like a crescent moon from up overhead. Really lengthen the right side of the body, right side of the spine, a lateral bend. Take a breath. And then inhale, return back to the center. Inhale. Exhale, hug the knees into the chest. You can rock side to side. Maybe trace circles with your knees, but just a moment here. Okay, and then we're going to come up to a seat so you can rock through to the center, whatever you need to do. We're going to take a seat for a little bit, so I'm going to sit on my block. Elevating the hips allows the pelvis to rest in neutral, which has a domino effect all the way up the spine. And we're going to focus on the spine here. So warming up in all directions, not just the lateral bend. So take a comfortable seat, sit up tall, relax your shoulders. Inhale as you draw your belly forward, lift your chest, lift your heart, look up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, draw the ribs back, chin to the chest, look down towards your lap. Move with your breath. Inhale as you draw the belly forward, come into a back bend, a spinal extension. Exhale to the forward bend, a spinal flexion. Just a few more of each of these, just like this. So these are not the movements we're focusing on in this sequence, but when we move the spine in all of its possible directions, it still helps us warm it up for a particular direction. So even this forward and back will help us warm up to open the sides. Let's do one more of each, one more back bend, one more forward bend. And then slowly return back to the center to that long neutral spine. So again, we need that length first and foremost. Inhale, reach the fingertips up, crown of the head up, create that length. Exhale, right hand down, left fingertips sweep up and over. Inhale to the center. Exhale, left hand down, right fingertips sweep up and over, creating that lateral bend. Inhale to the center. Exhale, take the side stretch. So lateral just means to the side. So we're just taking a side stretch, reaching and sweeping fingertips up and over, but again, keeping shoulders soft away from the ears. We want the length in the spine, but shrugging the shoulders up doesn't create any more length in the spine. We're keeping the seat firmly grounded. We want to make sure we're not lifting it up. We want to really grow long through the side. Let's do one more each side. So keeping the hip down on your seat, or your sitting bone, I should say, down on whatever it is you're sitting on. When you return back to the center, inhale, exhale, drop the arms as you take a twist over to the right. Inhale to the center, lengthen up. Exhale, drop the arms, take a twist to the left. Move with your breath, a few more on each side. Every time you come back to the center, lengthening up through the crown of the head, but not necessarily shrugging the shoulders. That's a different movement, different muscles. And again, your seat is firm on your block or your mat, whatever it is, again, that you're sitting on. We want to make sure that we've got a strong base, a strong anchor, and that is going to be in our sit bones. Let's do one more each side. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, despite that great length through the spine. And then inhale to the center. Exhale, let the arms come down. Okay. All right, we're going to come into tabletop. I always like to bring my blocks to the top two corners of my mat. All right, so in tabletop, all right, we're gonna come into another lateral stretch. So again, this whole sequence is about opening the sides of the body. So from here, we're gonna start in a strong tabletop, spread the fingers, push the hands down. We're gonna take a side bend, but that doesn't mean to let the ribs sag down, okay? So keep drawing the ribs up and in, tucking the tailbone a little bit. We're gonna lengthen the right leg back, hook the toes under, bottoms of the toes resting on the ground like the right side of your body is in plank. You're reaching the right heel back and the crown of the head forward, lengthening through that right leg. You're not feeling it in the side of the body yet, just here sort of opening through the back of the leg. Take a breath. Okay, now slowly pick up that right foot and bring it over to the left. So it's gonna cross over the left leg. It's probably gonna come off your mat. Hook your toes under, push the heel away from you. And now keeping the ribs in, we wanna make sure they're not sagging. Start to look over your left shoulder so you're looking back towards your right big toe. Now you should start to feel that stretch through the right side of the body. Think about really reaching your left shoulder towards your left hip. You're looking over towards your right big toe. Feel the opening through the right side of the body from up overhead. Your spine again looks like a crescent moon. Let's take a breath. And now inhale, return back to the center, letting the right toes rest on the ground again like the right side of your body is in a plank. We're gonna keep moving here. Keep the ribs drawn in, belly button into the spine, protect the lower back, and slowly lift the right leg up off the ground. Now, we want to keep the hips level, so oftentimes the right hip hikes up. Can you drop it down? Point your belly button directly down at the center of your mat, not over to the right. Now you can stay here, or reach your left fingertips forward, left thumb to the sky. Look at something that's not going to move, maybe the tip of your right thumb. Now you can stay here, keep pushing the right hand down, draw the ribs up and in, or take a lateral movement, not a lateral bend. But as you inhale, draw the left arm to the left, right leg to the right, and then exhale, return it back to the center. Inhale, open out to the sides. Exhale, return it back to the center. Let's do 3 more. Stay strong in that right arm. Keep pushing the right hand down, spreading the fingers. 2 more. Keep drawing the ribs up and in. Make sure you're not in a back bend. 1 more just like this. Inhale as you move laterally to the side. Exhale, return to the center. Pause for a full deep breath. Inhale. Exhale, let the hand and the knee touch down at the same time so you have that control. Okay. Now you can maybe roll out your right wrist. My right shoulder was feeling it before we come to the second side. So we start with a lateral bend in that movement, and then we take it to a lateral movement and not necessarily a lateral bend. So again, lateral just means to the side. So we can bend to the side or we can move to the side. So we're doing both of those things here. All right. So in tabletop, we lengthen the left leg back. Here we're starting again like the left side of your body is in plank. Reach the left heel back, crown of the head forward, really grow tall and long. Just for 1 more breath. Okay, now pick up the left foot and bring it over to the right. It's going to cross over the right leg. It's going to come off your mat. Keep pushing the heel away from you and then start to look over your right shoulder so you're looking back at your left big toe. Now when you're turning to look, it's not just in the neck. We want to open the side of the torso. So draw your right shoulder towards your right hip. Expand the left side. Think about your left shoulder and your left hip coming away from each other. Okay, keep reaching the left heel back. Reaching the right shoulder towards the right hip. Take a deep breath. This is a lateral bend in the spine. And then inhale, return back with the left toes resting on the ground. Now check in with your spine. Now the spine is going to stay in neutral. It's not going to bend, it's not going to flex, it's not going to extend. We want a neutral spine and then allow the left leg to float up off the ground. Hips are level, belly button points directly down to the mat. Reach through the left heel, keep that foot flexed. You can stay here, or you can reach your right fingertips forward. Right fingertips forward, thumb to the sky. Look at something that's not going to move. Maybe look at the tip of your left thumb. Now you absolutely could stay here. Draw your ribs up and in. We're not in a back bend. The spine is not going to move here. If you take the movement, it's a lateral movement in the arm and the leg, not the spine. So inhale, the leg and the arm go out in opposite directions. Exhale, return it back to the center. Inhale out in opposite directions, this lateral movement. Exhale, return it back. 3 more. Keep the spine in neutral. Push the left hand down. Really draw the ribs up and in. 2 more. Keeping the spine tall and long so the core can work. Feel the work throughout the body. 1 more. Taking your time. Inhale and exhale. When you return to the center, stay for a full breath. Really push that left hand down. Keep the core engaged. Inhale. Exhale, drop the hand and the knee. Let them touch at the same time. All right, and then you can, again, roll out your wrists. We're going to come off them in a moment. All right. Okay, so again, back into a traditional tabletop. We'll walk the hands 1 whole handprint closer to the top of the mat. Hook the toes under. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Give yourself some time if you want to pedal out the heels. Sway the hips, shake the head yes and no. Whatever feels good. About 1 more breath. Okay, now deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk or step forward into forward fold Uttanasana. These first few, just walk or step. You can jump later. Forward fold Uttanasana. Maybe your knees are softly bent, maybe they're deeply bent. But make sure your feet look like the number 11, all 10 toes pointing forward. Let the head feel heavy. Now you're in a forward fold, a forward bend. Let the head and arms feel heavy. Take a breath. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine, crown of the head forward, tailbone back. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Push the heels into the mat. Inhale, rise all the way up. Fingertips to the sky. Maybe at a back bend at the top. Bring your hands to your heart and take a deep breath. Okay, we're going to take another lateral bend. I guess I don't have to announce each and every one, but here's another one. So I'm just going to face you. You can stay right where you're at. Feet are hip distance apart, toes forward. Shift the weight back into your heels. You can wiggle the toes. Maintain the length in your spine, but softness in the shoulders. Remember, we're focusing on stretching here, not here. Okay. Inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Bring your left hand to the right wrist or right forearm and slowly pull it over. So similar to what we did when we were laying on our backs. So using the work from one arm to pull the other one over. Now we don't want to let the arm fall in front because that's not going to allow this to lengthen. So we want to think about not just drawing up and over, but up, over, and back. So up, over, and back a little bit instead of in front of the face. Can you get the right arm by the right ear? Okay. Stay for 1 more deep breath. Ardha Chandrasana. And then inhale to the center. We're going to switch the grip. Right hand grabs onto the left wrist and pull it up and over. Again, don't let the arm come in front of the face, or don't let it rest either. So imagine you could see your reflection, or you could see yourself. Think about the distance between your right ear and right arm being the same with the left ear and left arm. So we don't want something like this either. We want to think about sort of framing the face, framing the head very nicely. Pushing both feet into the ground. Really think about pushing the left heel down, the left hip down, so you can really sweep up and over, and back. Let's take a deep breath. Ardha Chandrasana. And then inhale, return to the center. Exhale, the arms come down. Okay. All right, now we are going to get moving. Sun salutations. So again, feet hip distance, weight back in the heels. Inhale, reach fingertips up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step the right foot back. Coming into a runner's lunge. Now your hands might be on blocks here or right on the ground. We're gonna take these two first sun salutations a little bit slower. I want you to really notice what's going on in your body in each and every one of these poses. Sometimes we move so quickly through them that we can't really observe how we feel in them. Okay, so really push that left heel down. Your left leg should feel like it's working hard. You reach the right heel back, but squeeze the inner thighs in to really activate the inner leg line. Take a deep breath. Inhale, bring your hands onto your mat. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spread your fingers as wide as they'll go. Push the base of your pointer fingers down into the ground. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose, like the top part of a push-up. Now, anytime we come here, you know you're welcome to drop to your knees. Just make sure that you're not drawing your seat back. We want no wrinkles in the front of the hips, so your hip flexors should be long. Take a deep breath. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower, coming all the way down onto your belly. Now bring the tops of your feet down onto the ground. Bring your arms alongside your body. Lift your hands and arms. Use the muscles of your back to lift your chest up off the ground. Shalabhasana, locust pose. So lift the chest and shoulders up off the ground. Broaden through the chest and shoulders like you're pulling your heart forward. Lengthen through the back of the neck. No wrinkles in the back of the neck. Lift the hands and arms up away from the floor and bring the hands a little closer together. One more deep breath, Shalabhasana. Inhale, lower the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a breath here. Okay, pick up the right foot, reach the right heel back. Inhale. Exhale, draw the right knee in towards your belly and quietly place that foot in between your hands. You're welcome to pull or push the foot if that's what you need to do. We just want to make sure it's not stomping and sort of slamming into the ground. All right, so the runner's lunge, push the right heel down, left heel back, but this next cue is really subtle. Squeeze the inner thighs in. Like you're drawing the inner thighs a little bit closer together, drawing the inner seams of your pants a hair closer together. Activate the inner leg line, the hip adductors. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana, round through the upper body. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise all the way up. We're going to do Surya Namaskar C one more time. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the left foot back, all the way back. So again, this runner's lunge. Ground the right heel. Reach the left heel back. Squeeze inner thighs in. Lengthen the spine, lift the chest. Inhale, bring the hands onto the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Set yourself up, spread the fingers, ground the hands. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose, top part of a push-up. You know you can drop to your knees. That's always available to you. Spread your fingers as wide as they will go. Push the base of the pointer finger down. Relieve out of the wrists. Take a breath. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Tops of the feet down. Arms alongside the body. Lift the arms, hands, chest, shoulders, head and neck, Shalabhasana. Now you can stay just like this, or maybe you lift your legs. Don't just bend the knees. Lift the tops of the feet, the tops of the thighs and the feet up off the ground. Push the hips down to lift the chest. Lift the thighs, Shalabhasana. Take a deep breath. Inhale, lower, hands under shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Give yourself a moment. Okay, now slowly pick up the left foot. Inhale, reach that left heel back. Exhale, draw the left knee into the belly. Quietly place the foot in between the hands. Runner's lunge. Ground the left heel. Right heel back. Inner thighs in. Now, all of those are so important. I keep saying them over and over because they apply for all of our standing poses as well. All the flows that we're going to come to, it's that same thing. Front heel down, right heel back, but inner thigh squeeze. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana, rounding through the upper body. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, maybe even add a back bend. Now we're going to do 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Okay, so again, pushing the hands down, spreading the fingers, heels back, crown of the head forward. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale to your back bend, whatever degree feels good for you. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to stay for a few breaths in this down dog. As you're here, check in with how you're feeling. Notice what's happening for you. If your heart rate maybe is a little elevated, if you've maybe started to break a sweat. Observing how you feel. 2 more breaths. Okay, deeply bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Walk, step, or jump forward. Fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, fingertips to the sky, maybe at the back bend. 2 more like that. Exhale, hinge at the hips, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step into plank pose. Stepping back, take your time, set yourself up. You should feel like you're working hard here. So put in that effort, create that strength. You got it, take a breath. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. A few breaths here. Again, checking in. This is your opportunity to feel and notice and observe what's going on. 3 more breaths. Deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Walk, step, or jump. Forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Fingertips to the sky. Maybe add the back bend. 1 last round. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back into what could be your last plank if you choose. You'll have options later. But this could be your last one, so make it count. Push the hands down like you're trying to push the earth away from you. Make sure you're not shrugging in the shoulders. Take a deep breath. You got it. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, take your back bend. Exhale, down dog. A few breaths right here. Three more breaths. Deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Fingertips to the sky. We're going to come right into these flows. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step to downward facing dog. Taking your time. This first flow, we're gonna hold these poses a little bit longer, just like the sun salutations. We're gonna really feel them and experience them. Okay, so from here, pick up the left foot, reach the left heel back, inhale. Exhale, draw the left knee into the belly. Quietly place that foot down in between the hands. You might be using blocks under the hands. All right, we are going to drop the right knee down onto the ground. You might pad under that right knee. You're welcome to do that. All right, so we're in a low lunge, sort of this modified or low runner's lunge. All right, so we are going to push down into the floor. Really push that left heel down, especially. Grounding the left foot, strengthening and engaging that left leg. And then slowly bring the hands to the top of the left thigh. Find some stability here. So if you feel like you're really wobbly, especially right to left, you might heel toe your left foot over to the left just a little bit. Gives you a little bit of a wider base. All right. So you're going to push down to engage these legs. Squeeze the inner thighs in. We're not focused on a hip flexor stretch. Oftentimes I teach a pose that looks something like this, but we let the hips come forward to stretch here. That's not the intention, so we might draw it back a little bit. I want you to think about length first. Okay, so lengthening the spine, softening the shoulders. All right, now from here, we're going to bring the left hand. You can keep it on the thigh, or maybe it's more comfortable at your hip, or maybe you've got a block beside you. You might have a block by your left side. Okay, but either way, right hand, we're going to inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, sweep all the way over a lateral bend. You guessed it. Okay, so I want you to really push the right foot, right shin, right knee down. We need an anchor. We need a firm, strong base so that we can sweep up and over a little bit more. Now, just like all these other lateral bends, we want up, over, and back a bit. So instead of letting your arm come right alongside your ear or crossing in front, can you open it back a little bit, like you're reaching your right arm towards the back of your mat? You might feel a little bit through your chest and the right shoulder. That's good. Okay, so keep pushing the left heel, the right knee, right shin, right top of the foot down into the ground, and sweep right fingertips up and over. This lateral bend for one more deep breath. Okay, and then inhale, return to the center, right fingertips still to the sky. Really reach up, inhale. Exhale, take a twist, bringing your hands together in a prayer position and hooking the right tricep to the outside of the left quad. So the right upper arm to the left upper thigh. Your palms are pushing into each other to help use this as leverage to twist and turn a little deeper to the left. I'm gonna have my back to you for just a moment, but you're welcome to look down, look to the side, or look up. I'm gonna keep looking down. I think that's maybe where you can hear me best, but I'm not really sure. Okay, but you're gonna keep pushing into your leg, using the arms as leverage again to twist a little deeper. Now you can stay here with just this twist, or maybe you hook the back toes under, lift the back knee, and come into a high lunge with this twist. Really rotating. Again, maybe you look up towards the ceiling. That's gonna be the most challenging option. Keep pushing down into the ground. Squeeze the inner thighs. This is where it becomes really helpful to engage that inner leg line. Take a deep breath. And then slowly drop that back knee and inhale, return back to the center, hands maybe on the hips or on that front thigh. Whew, take a deep breath. Okay, we're gonna take one more movement here in through the chest and the upper back. So we're gonna inhale, bring the arms up just to goalpost. I'll turn just so you can see me. So something like this, elbows bent at right angles, palms forward, fingertips to the sky. Now we're gonna ground down into the floor. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, take a chest opener. So we really haven't been doing these throughout the sequence, but they always feel good, it goes well here. So we're gonna squeeze the arms back, engage through the rhomboids, posterior deltoids, and lats, if that means anything to you, to pull the heart forward. So there's a big difference between bringing the arms back, So here's me bringing my arms back. I don't feel a stretch. There's no work happening. I just happen to bring my arm behind me. It's as if someone just pulled it back and there's no work happening. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I want you to squeeze, really engage your muscles. My rhomboids are already feeling like they're really fatiguing and feeling very tired just from this active squeezing in my back, and then it's helping the chest pull forward. Take a deep breath. Inhale, reach the fingertips to the sky. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into downward facing dog. Now you've got 3 to 5 breaths before we keep moving. You're welcome to take a vinyasa, which would be to inhale to plank, exhale to lower, inhale to your back bend, exhale down dog. So you've always got that as an option. You also always have child's pose or any other movement you need. One more breath here. All right, we are going to do a different flow on the same side. So from downward facing dog, pick up the left foot, reach the left heel back, inhale. Exhale, draw the left knee into the belly, quietly place the foot in between the hands, runner's lunge here on this left side. Now we're not going to drop the back knee, we're going to drop the back heel. Pivot the foot, ground the heel, deeply bend the left knee, inhale, warrior 2. So we started with those low lunges, really to open things up. Now we're back to moving at a little bit of a faster pace. So we're gonna push the heels down, make sure you're really pushing through the outside edge of that back foot. Lengthen the spine, soften the shoulders, take a deep breath. Okay, we're gonna move here with our breath. Inhale here, exhale, reverse warrior. Left fingertips sweep up and over. Inhale to the center, exhale, side angle. Right fingertips reach to the front. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, reverse, lateral stretch through the left side. Inhale to the center. Exhale, right fingertips reach up and over. 2 more of each. Move with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more of each. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to warrior 2. Hold it for a full deep breath. Feel those legs working. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the arms, step back, downward facing dog, 3 to 5 breaths. You can take a child pose, a vinyasa, a down dog variation, whatever you need, but keep breathing. Okay, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. Okay, from down dog, pick up the right foot, reach the right heel back, inhale. Exhale, draw the right knee into the belly. Quietly place that right foot in between the hands. And then we're going to drop the left knee. So again, you might pad that left knee. You're welcome to do that. Okay. And then we're going to push down to rise up. You can bring your hands again to the top of the right thigh or maybe to the hips. If you're feeling a little unstable, which I am today, you might crawl that right foot. I always like to do sort of one heel toe over to the right, but you can take more than that. Not too wide, but a wider base isn't gonna hurt. I'm gonna bring my block over here. All right, we gotta find some stability. I cannot find it today. So we're gonna push the right heel down, push the top of the left foot, left shin, left knee down. That's gonna really firm up the legs. We wanna make sure that they are working. Okay, grounding down, lengthening up. Right hand can come to the hip, the thigh, or maybe you reach onto a block. Inhale, sweep the left fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale as you sweep left fingertips up and over, reaching to the side, a lateral bend. So we got up, we got over. Do we have the back? That's the most challenging part. But also, when I say back, I don't mean back bend. So when we draw the arm back, we tend to push the ribs forward, which is not what I want either. So can you keep the ribs in? Ooh. Can you keep the ribs in, but draw the arm back as well as up and over? Lateral bends, there's more to them than we think sometimes, huh? So keep grounding down. Wherever you've got your right hand, try to relax the right shoulder away from the right ear, left shoulder away from the left ear. Push the left shin and knee down so you can sweep up and over. One more deep breath here. Okay, we're gonna keep the left arm lifted, but inhale, return to the center. Exhale, take the twist, hooking the left arm to the outside of the right thigh. Bringing the hands into a prayer position, Anjali Mudra. And so you're going to push your right hand into your left arm into the right leg to twist your heart up towards the sky. Again, you can look down, straight forward, or up. Up is always more challenging for your neck. Down is always more of a release. Up is always more work. So you listen to your neck. And you might stay here just like this. Ground the right heel. Squeeze the inner thighs. You might make sure you're looking at something that doesn't move, and you might hook the left toes under, hook the back toes, and lift the knee. All right. So twisting and turning at your spine, turning your heart up towards the sky. Now we're in a twist, not so much of a lateral bend, but the lateral bends really open us up for twists. They make it very easy to come into twists, so why not, right? Keep that left leg active. Take another deep breath. And then slowly drop that left knee down to the ground and return the spine to neutral. Hands can come to the hips or onto the thigh. Take a deep breath. Okay, one more movement here. So grounding down, firming everything up. Again, we're not leaning forward. We've got the hips back a little bit, pushing down. Bring the arms up to that goal post position. Elbows are bent at a right angle. Okay, now we lift up and then we squeeze back. There is a big difference between just bringing your arms back and squeezing them back. You should feel your lats work, which are kind of the back of your ribs. Your rhomboids work, those are between your shoulder blades, and the posterior deltoids, that's the back of the shoulder. So squeezing all these muscles, pushing your heart forward, like you're trying to separate your collarbones, like you're pushing your heart forward towards the wall in front of you. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, bring the hands down, step back, downward facing dog, 3 to 5 breaths. Move, rest, work, stay still, whatever you need. A few more breaths. One more breath. Okay, from downward facing dog, pick up the right foot, reach the right heel back, inhale. Exhale, draw the right knee in towards your belly, quietly place that right foot in between your hands, taking as many steps as you need. Pushing and pulling is fine. We're towards the end, you might be getting tired. And then we're gonna pivot the back foot. I am gonna turn around so you can still see me. But we're gonna pivot that back foot, ground the left heel, and inhale, slowly rise. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. So we're gonna give ourselves a moment to set this up, and then we're moving at the pace of the breath into both lateral stretches, lateral bends. Okay, so right knee is coming forward, ground the right heel, ground the left heel, outside edge of the foot. When we come into side angle, we want the foot and the hand like they're being pulled into opposite directions. So if the foot is sort of just hanging out, it's not gonna get into that. Okay, so arms reach out, one more moment, warrior 2. Inhale, exhale, reverse warrior. Keep the legs as they are, reach right fingertips back. Inhale, warrior 2, arms outstretched. Exhale, side angle, reach the left arm. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, side angle, Parsvakonasana. We're going to do 2 more of each. Inhale to the center. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, center. Exhale, side angle. Lengthen the left side. One more of each pose. Inhale to the center. Exhale, lengthen the right side. Inhale to the center. Exhale, side angle. Inhale to warrior two. We're gonna hold it here for a deep breath. Stay strong, stay focused. Inhale, exhale, cartwheel the arms, step back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Last time, take any transition you need. It might involve working, it might involve resting. That's okay. Whatever your body is asking. Okay. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a deep breath there. And then deeply bend the knees, coming down into tabletop onto all fours. All right. Now, we're going to be kneeling on our left knee again for a little bit. So you might pat it up. All right, but in tabletop, lengthen your left leg back, similar to the beginning of the practice when the right side of the body was in plank. But this time we're going to roll to the inside edge of the foot, planting that foot down, planting at least the inside edge. Now the left shin is going to pivot a little bit. The top of the left foot is down and your left toes are sort of pointing over to the left side of the room. Move this over. All right, left hand is directly under the left shoulder. Push it down and inhale as you reach the right fingertips to the sky. Okay, so when you're looking at your body here, the hope is that your left hand, your left knee, and your right heel make a straight line as if they're on a tightrope. Right fingertips reach to the sky. And again, that left shin might kind of swing back a little bit more. Find a position where you feel like it's creating the most amount of stability. Okay, now really try to plant the right pinky toe and the outside edge of that foot into the ground. That's going to depend on how open your ankle is, and it might not be very open. That's okay, especially if you wear a lot of restrictive shoes, stiff sort of leather shoes, heels, that sort of thing. And that's all right, but try to ground that pinky toe side of the foot down into the ground, reach right fingertips up. You can stay here to really open through the right side of the body. Maybe right fingertips sweep up overhead. Again, like the right foot and the right hand are being pulled in opposite directions. Really grow long through the right side of the torso. Again, you can look down, forward, or up. My neck is asking to look down, so that's what I'll do. Keep grounding that right foot, reaching right fingertips up and over. Notice the stretch you're feeling. Are you poking your ribs forward? Draw them in. Take a deep breath. Now push that left hand down. Inhale, rise up, almost like your upper body looks in warrior two. Okay, keep planting the outside edge of that right foot, the pinky toe side down to the ground. The toes will face forward towards the long edge of your mat. Okay, right hand can come to the calf, the thigh, the waist, whatever works. Just relax the right shoulder. Flip the left palm to the sky. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, reach over. Now, sort of like what your torso does and your upper body does for reverse warrior. Again, the hand can rest wherever it needs to, just don't push. Okay, left fingertips, we're not mirroring each other anymore. So your left as well, just like mine, is reaching up, over, and back without poking the ribs forward. Draw the ribs in. We want to lengthen through the left side of the body. Left knee down, left shin down, left arm up, left shoulder relaxed. Feel the length through the left side of the body. Again, down, forward, or up. Up is always more, down is always less. Take 2 deep breaths here. Notice this feeling. And then inhale, return back. Let's bring the hands to the hips here. So there's another version of this pose that we're going to take. The only difference is the leg. So what you're feeling in your leg is going to be different. So I want you to Notice it. Okay, we're gonna rotate at the hip so that the right toes point up towards the ceiling. You're pushing your heel away from you towards what has been the back of your mat. Now you're gonna probably feel a length in the back of the leg as well as the stretch here. Okay, so again, right hand can rest wherever, just don't push. Inhale, sweep left fingertips up, lengthen. Exhale, take that side stretch up, over, and back, but draw the ribs in. Now it's like you're reaching your left fingers for your right toes. They're not gonna touch, that's okay. But think about keeping, again, the ribs in. We're focusing on the spine. We've now just added a stretch to the back of the right leg. So it might be deep, it might be mild, but we've sort of added on. So just notice this feeling. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then inhale, slowly return to the center, arms outstretched. Exhale, cartwheel the arms, come back to tabletop. Give yourself a few moments before we do that on the second side. After this, we are going to really just focus on stretching and cooling down. So this is sort of the last little bit of work, I suppose. All right, so I'm gonna flip around, but you can stay right where you're at. I just wanna be able to still face you. All right, so in tabletop, now we're gonna be kneeling on the right knee, so you might pad that right knee. You're gonna lengthen your left leg back, roll to the inside edge of the foot, roll to the big toe side. That right shin is gonna pivot, top of the right foot down, toenails down, but the toenails are pointing, or the toes are pointing over to the right. Okay, push that right hand down, sweep left fingertips up. All right, so you might just be letting the inside edge of your foot rest, that's fine. We are going to eventually try to place the left pinky toe down into the ground, so maybe you can get there now. And again, that right shin can pivot to whatever degree allows you to feel like you are very stable. Okay, right hand pushes down, right hand, knee, and left heel all are in one straight line like a tightrope. Left fingertips can continue to reach up, or maybe they sweep up and over. This is where you can really grow long. So sweeping left fingertips, and like your left foot are being pulled in 2 opposite directions, really grow long. And again, draw that left shoulder back a little bit without pulling the ribs or the chest forward. We want a neutral spine in terms of forward and back. We're just opening through the side. We just want a side bend. Okay, let's take 2 more breaths. Now push the right hand down. Inhale, return, upright. Again, as if your upper body is just sort of what it does in Warrior 2, that same sort of idea. I'm gonna scoot forward just a little bit, running into that curtain. Okay, so now we wanna try to really plant that left foot. Can you get the left pinky toe down into the ground? And not just touching the ground, pushing into the ground, just like Warrior 2, right? Lengthen the spine, reach the arms out. Inhale, reach right fingertips to the sky. Exhale, sweep up and over. Left hand, rest wherever you like. Again, we just don't wanna push. Right fingertips sweep up and over, but shoulder falls away from the ears. Ear, you only have one ear on your right side, don't you? Push the right knee down, right shin down, so you can really grow long. So this is similar to when we were seated, and I said make sure that you're not leaning over, that your seat is firmly grounded on whatever it is you're sitting on. If you've been taking my classes regularly, you hear me say that all the time. Your seat is firmly grounded on whatever you're sitting on. It's the same idea here. We have to ground down. Just now it's not your seat, it's your knee and your shin. So push down, firmly ground on whatever it is you are kneeling on, and reach up and over. That will help lengthen. Notice what you're feeling here through the left leg, because again, we're gonna take that other leg variation, and so just notice. Take 2 breaths here. And then inhale, return to the center. Let's bring the hands to the hips. Okay. We're gonna keep expanding through that side, but we're gonna turn at the hip. So it's not just a foot movement. We're gonna turn at the hip so that the left kneecap, the left toes all point up towards the sky. We're pushing the heel away, curling the toes in. So now we're gonna add a stretch through the back of the leg. Left hand comes wherever. Inhale, right fingertips up. Exhale, sweep up and over. Like you're now reaching your right fingers for your left toes. Again, they're not gonna touch. That's not my expectation of you. And resist the temptation to pop your hips. I could feel myself wanting to do it just here. So instead of popping your hip to the right and kind of sitting in it, resist that temptation. Oh, I'm going a little longer. Okay. So left toes to the sky. Right fingers reaching for those left toes. Up, over, and back. Don't forget that back. Draw the right arm back, but can you keep the ribs in? 2 more deep breaths. Inhale, slowly rise. Exhale, cartwheel the arms. Tabletop. Give yourself a few moments. Roll out your wrists, roll out your ankles, whatever's feeling like it needs a little movement. Okay. All right, we are going to make our way down onto our backs. So I'm going to, again, bring something under my head for a little support, but it's optional. Come all the way down onto your back. Knees bent, feet flat. And when you're here, just take a moment, noticing how your body feels. We were in this same position just about an hour ago, and it probably felt really different then than it does now. And it doesn't mean one feeling is better than the other. Just notice that you feel different. You just make that observation. Take one more breath here. All right. Okay. If you've got the room, let your arms come out in opposite directions. If you don't, arms can always come alongside the body. Palms up. Bring the feet and the knees either hip distance or together, and just let them sway from side to side. And we're going to stay here for a little bit, just letting them rock and sway. So I'm pretty sure you figured it out by now, but we were focusing on lateral bends. I'm now reflecting on how many times I used that word and used that phrase. But now you know exactly what they mean, right? If another teacher says we're going to come into a lateral bend, you go, oh, I know what that is. So we focused on lateral bends, and I mentioned this earlier, but lateral bends always really help us open for a twist, because when you're twisting your spine, you're also kind of also doing a lateral bend. And so twists are usually much deeper if we do them after some lateral bends. So again, let's take advantage of that. So we're going to twist a little bit. Just let the legs go side to side just a few more times. Let them go to each side one more time. And then return your hips back to the center, your legs back to the center. Okay. And we're going to start with the opposite side I normally start with, because it's, I'll explain in a second. Let me just do it. Let's scoop the hips 2 to 3 inches over to the left. Now you can just let your legs fall like this, or you can cross your left leg over your right like you would if you were sitting in a chair. That will make it even deeper, and that's going to open through the left outer hip, outer thigh, and outer glutes. And then allow your hips to fall to the right. So normally I like to open with twists over to the left, but we actually just opened the right side, so I want to go back to the left. I like to sort of alternate right, left, right, left, right, left. So now let's open through the left. So you might feel an opening through the left side of your torso heel. You might not, but there is this stretch here. It's not necessarily a lateral bend. That's why I said sort of, kind of, sort of opening here. It's not really a lateral bend, but it's that same, it's complicated. I guess I can't really explain it. I apologize, but there might be a stretch that you're feeling. What I'm trying to say is you might feel something like your left hip and your left shoulder are coming away from each other, in addition to a twist in your spine, and a stretch through the outer left glute, hip, and thigh. Okay, you might turn at your neck to look over your left shoulder. But we're gonna stay in this twist. Let's stay for a few more moments, just really coming into a pose that's passive, that's soft, where you can let go. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. If your head is turned, slowly return it to the center. Gently return your legs to the center. Uncross the legs. Recenter the hips. Bring everything back to neutral. And again, just notice what you're feeling. Take a deep breath. Scoot the hips over to the right 2 to 3 inches. Cross the right leg over the left like you would if you were sitting in a chair. Again, that's optional. And then allow the legs to fall to the left. Once you've positioned your legs where you like, you might turn at your neck to look over your right shoulder. And again, come into a pose that's passive and soft, gentle and effortless, where you might feel the length through the right side of the spine. You might feel the twist through the spine. You might feel this opening through the glutes, the hip, and the thigh. But allow yourself to soften and to relax. Let yourself be gentle and relaxed. Take 3 deep breaths here. If your head is turned, slowly return your head to the center. Slowly return your legs to the center. Uncross your legs. Recenter your hips. Pause in neutral to observe how you feel. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, hug your knees into your chest. You might rock side to side. Trace circles with your knees. Maybe point and flex your feet or do ankle circles. Maybe come to happy baby. Give yourself about 3 breaths though, being somewhere that feels good before we settle into Shavasana. So I'm going to come up to a seat, but you stay on your back, or know that you can always take a different version of Shavasana if it suits you better. Propping yourself up maybe. Like every other pose, do what feels best for you. So allow yourself to come down onto your back in a very comfortable and effortless position.
softening through every muscle, relaxing every joint, releasing every tendon, ligament, all the soft tissues, every part of your body can relax. It can soften. Now it is time to rest. Now it is time to relax. deepen your breath. And as you deepen your breath, imagine those deep breaths filling not only your lungs, but your bones, from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers to the crown of your head, filling your body with fresh air, fresh breath, fresh prana. And then allow that breath to create movements, letting the head rock from side to side. The thumbs run over the rest of the fingers as you wiggle your toes. Roll wrists and ankles. Move arms and legs. You can reach your arms overhead, stretching as if you just woke up from a long nap. Inhale. Exhale, hug the knees into the chest. And slowly roll over onto either side. In a tucked fetal position, resting your ear on your arm to support your head and neck. Keeping your eyes closed and using the strength of both arms, push down into the ground and come up to a comfortable seat. And take a moment here to thank yourself for making it to your mat today. And maybe reflect on your intention. Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may the thoughts, words, and actions of my life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. Now slowly join the hands together in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra. To seal our practice, we will chant the sound of Om one time together. Om is the oldest and most sacred mantra. It's said to exist in all living things and therefore unites all living things together. Again, we'll chant the sound of Om one time. Let's start with a deep and clearing breath. Inhale for Om. The light or the good in me acknowledges, respects, and bows to the light or the good in you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Lauren, and this was a Vinyasa flow practice on lateral bends, side stretching. So I hope you feel nice and loose. I definitely do. I'm sure you do too. So hopefully you feel a little lighter and more lifted and taller and all of those things, and hopefully you can keep that going through your day. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.